Let me know when you're ready.
Me?
Yeah. So
Fingers in eyes.
you've just collected your first Triforce piece.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Like I'm going to Disney. No. Like I want to poke my eyeballs out and breathe deeply.
What was the biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge is I still feel like I've missed something with the last room. Like I feel like there was another way to go about that. And it's frustrating.
Can you recap the way you went about it for us? What did you do?
Kill everything until I got bombs and then bombed it to death.
There you go.
After trying to hit it with the throw your sword, after trying to hit it repeatedly with the boomerang and not seeing any animation that told me that I was doing anything.
Yep,
The only time I got animation that said that I was successfully doing anything was the bomb. The one time I got the bomb off before I finally got bombs again and got back there and was actually able to finish it. That's the only animation that I saw that showed me that I was doing anything successfully.
Was it 2 bombs that killed him?
Correct.
Yep. I think that's the speedrunner's way of killing him.
Yeah,
if they get him, if they get the drop, they'll use bombs, I think.
Well, there's probably somewhere on the overworld where you can guarantee it, like, if you can manipulate the drops somehow.
Yeah.
Certain enemies that you kill, certain ones you leave alive. There's probably some way to do it. I don't know. I haven't watched one of those in a very long time. So yeah, I mean, she killed him quick.
Yeah, he was dead for sure.
Yeah, there were just little pieces of dragon left to scrape up off the floor, and
he was a little bit frail from old age, maybe.
Yeah. For multiple generations of Link running in there.
Yeah,
over the millennia.
That's right. He killed 2,000 years worth of Links before.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, she did it though. I mean, it's a.
Yeah,
you did it. It happened completely kind of in reverse from what I thought it would be, because her finding level 1 was just genius. That was just craziness. And then I thought, and I think I said it right at the beginning, once she got to level 1, it'd be a breeze. I mean, because she'd figure out how to play it a little bit, that you're locked to a grid, what the buttons do. And then you work your way through the dungeon. I knew she knew how to read the map and where everything was going to be. But then something happened. something happened with the dragon that gave her some very unfortunate false information, I guess.
Yeah,
it's the only way I can say it. And I was sitting here thinking, it's like, God, this might be a stalemate, because I know she's not going to quit. She knows she can hurt it. She knows she can hurt it. She just needs the bombs.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there kind of thinking to myself, how many bombs is it going to take to kill this thing? And is she going to be able to find enough? But yeah, that was my take. It was pretty entertaining. I mean, it was very entertaining.
Yeah. I would have bet money that she wouldn't walk down and get the sword the first time she saw that panel.
Oh, that shocked me. I thought, the game starts and there's a door and you go in the door and you get the sword. The first thing she did was go to the left, and I was like, wait a minute.
I assume you thought hole bad.
No, I thought I came out of that hole.
Oh, that's right. She did think that.
That's actually a pretty good assessment, because Breath of the Wild, you emerge from a temple. From the Temple of Time.
Yeah.
And Crystallis, you emerge from the time vault thing.
Yeah.
Like a time. It's like you're cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, cryogenic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I thought I came out of there.
That's fair.
And so that's why I didn't go in it. And then when I didn't have anything, like I don't even know if I've ever watched you play any of it. I think I maybe seen you play some, but not.
If I go back, I usually go to Link to the Past, not all the way to NES.
Yeah.
I've maybe beat it a couple times in the past 15 years.
But I know from playing other Zelda games, it's usually you usually don't have anything when you first start. You have to go pick it up from somewhere. Like, isn't it Ocarina?
Yeah.
You have to go and like find it.
You gotta go get you a Deku stick.
Yeah, like you gotta go pick up a stick, and then eventually you find the sword, right? Like, so I wasn't puzzled by not having a weapon because I felt like it was, and from my experience, it was an accurate representation of how you start as Link. And so I had no idea, like, obviously now I'll know. You go in the door and you get the sword from the wizard. Don't hit him, though.
Even the one on the Game Boy, you don't start with the weapon. You got to go run along the beach and find your sword washed up on the beach.
Yep.
Yeah. So that part didn't really freak me out. I mean, I think it was 1 or 2 times that I ran around that I was like, okay, I'm going to go in the hole. And if I've already been in there, then it'll be a blank room and okay, whatever. So I figured it's not, I didn't ever think it was bad. I just didn't think it was necessary at first. And then I was like, if it's not necessary, then it's not going to hurt me to go in it.
Yep.
And then I kind of did the same thing with the game as I do with the controller. Like, you said I had to find the first dungeon or whatever. And so, kind of like when I pick up a controller for a new game, I press all the buttons to find out what it does. Eventually, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to run around. I'm just going to run everywhere. Forget the bad guys.
Yeah.
Just run everywhere and see what I can find.
Uncover the most of the map that you can.
Yeah.
It was exactly right.
And then, like you guys said, like, once you see a giant bridge going off screen, how do you not walk down it?
That's what I was about to ask you. Is there any way you don't walk down that bridge?
No. Not for me.
Never, not in a million years could you ever run past that bridge.
No.
No, I don't think so. It draws you over.
Yeah.
I do get your path, though. You went right pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I always wanted to go to, like at the start, was go right. And then it just gets progressively worse.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah. And I was like, screw that side. Like,
Go through the spiders, and then you go in the forest that has all the guys throwing spears at you, and then you get to the ocean at the end, and it's got Zora shooting the fireballs at you.
Oh yeah, Zora's, yeah.
All bad news.
Yep, all bad.
But yeah. So level 1 was that was a quest.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So
sorry, internet, that you had to suffer through that. It was worse for us.
It was great. It was great. It did not happen at all the way I thought, but yeah. I mean, she made it. I mean, it's a binary thing. She either did or she didn't.
Yeah,
and she did.
Yeah, she did.
It was
Did you did you ever pick up on any of the sounds? There were some sounds that you were getting that I didn't see register.
So I heard a sound. I'm assuming that, I don't know if it's a timing thing or whatever, but I can hit the boomerangs and make them not hit me. Whether, I think I did it with my sword maybe a couple times. I don't know if I ever hit a boomerang with a boomerang.
It's actually,
I don't think so, but
your shield.
Yeah, Link has a shield that's in front of him like this.
Right.
But when you stab, he puts his shield out and he does that. So when you're attacking, you can be hit. When you're not attacking, projectiles bounce off you from front.
Yeah, only from the front.
You could just stand there and look at one of those boomerang guys, and their boomerangs just bounce off of you all day until you attacked. But during your attack animation, you can get hit. That's what that was.
Yeah.
That's a real kind of high level attacking technical thing. I didn't expect you to figure that part out.
So was that the sound though?
That was one of the sounds. The
okay.
dink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there was another sound when you were fighting the dragon. I think you heard it. Did you hear it?
No.
Okay, you were using the boomerang on him.
Yes.
And it was passing through him over and over again.
Right. And it was making him roar, growl, whatever, right?
No.
No. Or was it the swish sound?
No. So at one point, you move just a little bit higher on the panel, and it started tinking against him.
Oh.
Yeah, so your boomerang was hitting him, not passing through him, but it was bouncing off the same as almost the same sound as boomerangs hitting your shield.
Okay.
That would have been a tough one. That's what I was talking about. It's like a very unfortunate kind of series of bad feedback that led her kind of down this path where bombs kill the dragon.
So he said something happened your first run. You actually did hurt the dragon in the very first time you went in there.
Are you serious?
Go ahead. Do you want to go there?
Yeah, I'll do it. So
I feel like I'm hearing me told that my mom is dead. Like,
no, it's not. I mean, it's you're gonna be mad, but it's something so simple. You know, he has the 3 fireballs that come out, and you were in the bottom slot. You were between the bottom and the middle.
Yes.
If you had moved up a slot, and been between the top and the middle, and lined up with his head, you could hurt him. You had to hit him in the head. You were hitting him in the chest.
But his hitbox is only his head, and so everything goes through him until you hit his hitbox.
That's why your boomerang,
including your sword and your lasers.
But the bomb is a giant hitbox that like encompasses all of him. So
yeah, the bomb I think is 9 squares.
Yeah, you can't miss. It hits every part of his sprite.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just if you just went up the 1 slot, you could have stood at the back of the room and shot your full life sword at him, holding from across the room.
Would you like to go in and kill the dragon?
You're that close.
Dang.
Would you like to go shoot the dragon in the face?
Yes, I would.
Shoot the dragon in the face.
Okay. I think I will.
So you just got to get in that same slot you were in, but above the middle one instead of below it.
Okay.
You might not do good.
Yeah, I know. It's not moving great. See, I'm still not getting anything visually.
You're going over his head right now.
Okay.
You might have to move down after he attacks. Don't get hit.
Wait.
Yeah, what? Oh, she's just
on the top half of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it kind of starts at his shoulders.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, but right there early on, something happened, and you convinced yourself you couldn't hurt the dragon with the sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you went on this Frodo-style quest to go get bombs because you thought you had to have bombs.
Yeah.
You can actually kill him even without the shot, right? You just got to get up there and stick him in the head.
Oh, yeah. You could just stab him in the head point blank.
I thought so.
I gotta get Cubert out of here.
Cubert.
Do you believe that those things are actually supposed to be octopuses that shoot rocks at you?
No.
Insanity.
Can I click on something?
Yeah, click up there on OBS.
Where at? Just somewhere.
Just on the top bar, but not on the button. Yeah, so that would have made it faster.
Yeah, it definitely would have. So I realized, okay, so I thought that I couldn't hurt him. And so I was like, okay, then there must be something somewhere that hurts him. And then I got the bow that I couldn't equip.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't equip it until you get the arrows.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got the boomerang and I was like, okay, I can get him with the boomerang and I got the bombs. So yeah, it all just kind of led me down an unfortunate path of
I
seeking out
thought the
alternatives.
I thought the other place it could have gone was she got the bow, so it's like, well, I have to use the bow against the dragon, right? But then
Yeah.
it would have been raise enough money to go back outside, buy the arrows, come back in, and shoot arrows at the dragon. And I think that actually works. I think that
Yeah.
actually he can die that way. But yeah, I thought we were gonna go back outside and go arrow shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried about it. I didn't think arrows would drop in that dungeon.
Well, no,
So.
I mean, yeah, you got well, no, on this arrows don't drop on the OG Zelda. Um,
Oh,
arrows take
yeah, that's
money.
right. Yeah.
It's 1 rupee per shot, but you have to buy the arrows first. You have to
Yeah.
buy the ability to equip them, and they don't sell them. They're kind of a rare thing to see sold. They're only in a
Gotcha.
couple of stores in the whole game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So this game, there's eight dungeons, right?
8 pieces of the Triforce that you have to put together to unlock dungeon number 9.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Eight regular dungeons, boss dungeon, boatloads of hidden areas that are hidden behind bomb walls
Yeah.
and burning bushes.
Yep.
And think about how many walls and bushes you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not really any indication of where they're at. There are a couple spots where like you look at it and you go, I bet there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, they're hidden.
Yeah, it's not like later Zelda games where they put a crack in a wall. On this one, you're just bombing blind. You just have to guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a little more fickle with blowing walls than it is with dealing damage with the bombs.
Mm.
Blowing walls, it's got to be on the tile that it's in.
Yep. That was not a. I mean, it's not an easy game
No,
by
it's
any
not.
stretch. I mean, I'm going through it for the first time ever. Is difficult. Like
Yeah.
it's not an easy game. I mean,
No.
it's an old school, early release NES game. They were all tough.
Yeah.
What do you think?
About what?
Would you recommend it?
No.
No.
Not
No.
not from like modern gameplay styles.
Yeah, I
Nah,
mean, when nothing else was competing with it, yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, in its time, it was unbeatable. Gold cartridge is unbeatable.
Well, and you had this giant, sprawling world in front of you, and you didn't have you didn't have any resources. You just
Yeah.
had to go explore it, and that was, the big part of it. You would stumble across levels. Is how you found them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
there's
from
not much reference for how big it is either. I mean, you have the gray box, but it means nothing.
Yeah.
No.
I had Crystallis and this, so Crystallis won the fight most of the time because it was just a hair easier to play than this.
Yep.
You can move diagonal.
Honestly, like the only being able to move in a grid pattern, I can't. Not a fan, but definitely not a fan at all when the grid pattern doesn't match up with your background.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty brutal.
That made me want to vomit. Like it was like walking into a house while everything is crooked. Like.
Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. Where did that happen? Where did that happen?
Throughout the whole dungeon.
Yeah.
It has the tile floor, but you don't move on the grout lines of the tile.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay? So, yeah, the dungeon floor is a bunch of squares, but you can get on like a half square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your grid is twice what you can see.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is kind of a strange thing.
But it made it difficult because I felt like I couldn't visually. there were lines, but I didn't line up with the lines. So it was hard to tell
Something
where
else,
I was.
something else that makes this game hard, especially now, um, is there's a lot of enemies that are single tile sized. And so you get off half a tile, you'll miss them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where a lot of SNES and some of the NES stuff were two tile sized, so you could shoot them in the feet or the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a real challenge on one of the big challenges on this too. It's just getting lined up.
She comes from a first-person shooter background. I thought the first thing she would do is try to stab that guy in the head.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fair, but that's where he's shooting giant fireballs out of. So kind of want to stay away from that. Like,
yeah, and getting to him with full hearts is not something you can do right out of the box.
Yeah,
she had to build that skill
to be able to get back there.
Yeah.
I never thought to run behind him. It just never occurred to me that you could actually do that.
Well, most people don't want to be trapped between a wall and a dragon.
Well, you know,
I know what you did. I know what you were thinking. It was a good idea.
I was trying to exploit a weakness and collect data, and a lot of things. When you do hit them behind, you get a attack of advantage. So
Sure.
She tried to D&D it too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of data that says hit it from behind, hit it.
Backstab times 4.
Wow.
Or something. I don't know. Just, unfortunately, the dragon can shoot fireballs without turning his head.
Apparently, he can turn his neck without me seeing it visually on.
I'm shooting fireballs right now with that picture on the wall behind me.
There you go.
What is that?
The last thing I could think of right now, the hand never got her. She never got the hands never got her.
I'm stunned. I was stunned by that too. I was thinking it to myself, and then I just kind of lost the thought. But do you know what happens? I'll let you take this one. Go ahead.
She probably does. Do you know what happens if the hands grab you?
You know what we're talking about, right? The hands that are coming out of the wall?
They look like they're like, if the hands grab you, I have no idea. I'm assuming they like smash you or something, or do they pick you up? Because they kind of look like they're in like a pickup pose.
Yep.
Yeah, they pick you up.
I'm trying to think. Did they pick you up in Elden Ring? They did, didn't they? Or no? They dropped from the ceiling.
Yeah, they drop down, or they grab you from under.
So they would drop from the ceiling in Ocarina, and I think a lot of the games they drop from the ceiling. But yeah, they grab you, and in this one they take you all the way back to the start of the dungeon, right? Yeah.
Interesting.
All the way back to the front door.
Wow, that's rude.
Yep. They hurt you. They take a heart and then drop you off like you just walked in the dungeon.
Yeah.
So, and you were completely able to avoid that. You pretty much owned those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrecked for sure.
So I was frustrated by. I guess I need to pay better attention audio-wise to games. Because I feel like that is a weakness that's now been revealed. Is that maybe I don't hear things like I should. I usually look for visual cues. So I got very frustrated when I got the visual cue of the door with the circle on it was opened via pushing a block, but there were no blocks to push in the dragon room.
Mm-hmm.
I was very frustrated by that.
That's because you did it backwards. It was supposed to be when I move a block, a thing happens. Or you walk in a room, it's got one block. Oh, I can move the block and it made something happen. Okay. So then you go to the room with the bow and you go, okay, there's a whole bunch of blocks. I can move one of them. The challenge wasn't supposed to be dodge the spikes, figure out that you can move a block, and then find the block all in the same room. It was trying to incrementally teach you, but instead you did it. You were like, can't go in that door, I'm out. 7 times.
Yeah.
when she moved the block in that single block in the room with the door, I had like this kind of like, wave of thoughts that came through my head just because I know her. Because I was like, man, I wish she would just push the block. You know, I watched her run past it like 10 times. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, just push the block. It's like this itch I can't scratch. And then she pushed the block, and I went, oh no, she knows how to push blocks. She's gonna push them all now.
Yes.
Like all of them. There's no safe block.
There wasn't.
She's gonna run into the room with the boss. Hang on just a second, sir. I gotta push all these blocks.
I couldn't remember what was in that room, but I knew it was a dead end, like a no benefit room. I didn't remember it was the old man, but I thought she was gonna lose it when she finally got in there. There was nothing. Like her reaction was fairly mild compared to what I was expecting.
Yeah, I knew that if she found the old man, she'd hit him. There's no way you can't. There's no way you can't. I think that I think you could even attack the fires next to him.
Yeah.
See, I wondered that because I almost went back and tried to attack the fires to see what would happen, but I decided not to.
He gets mad.
There was one other thing I remembered. Okay, once you had the bombs again, there was a point where you had 6 bombs.
Yes.
You had all the items.
Yes.
Why were you clearing rooms that you didn't even need to go into?
Okay, so there was this. So I had cleared the room with the boomerang guys in it and got the boomerang. And then I went but I'd already cleared that room before and didn't get anything. So I don't know if it's like or if it was like just like a weird circumstance thing or what, but I didn't know if it was one of those things where it didn't give you something until you had made it like to a certain room and then you could come back and it would give it to you.
You cleared the other boomerang room. The one with the water in it. You cleared that one, but you didn't clear the one to the right. Yeah, I think they killed you the first time you went in there.
Well, I was wondering if I cleared every room, like would I get something?
Ah, okay.
Yep.
And so I wanted to test that theory. And I had gone to I had gone and cleared the one room and gotten the boomerang, and then later on I cleared a room and got the bombs. So then I thought, okay, I'm just gonna go and start clearing the rooms and see what I get.
Yeah, I mean, once you clear a room and get an item, everything in that dungeon now has to die.
Yeah.
So you have to find out in every room.
Do I get something?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because like we were at the point where you were pretty sure that you wanted to go bomb the dragon in the face.
Yes.
But you were still clearing rooms that you didn't even have to go into. I wasn't sure if you were still experimenting or not confident in what you needed to do still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just felt like I don't know, I just felt like there was something else. Maybe I was thinking because I had the bow, maybe if I kept going I'd get the arrows for the bow.
Oh yeah.
Kind of a thing. Like
you knew that there was another way to hurt the dragon.
I did. I did for sure know there was another way to hurt that dragon.
And you were right.
And I was right. Exactly. And I felt I don't know, I felt kind of cheap doing it with the bombs because I felt like that's not the intended way. Or I don't know. It didn't feel right. Like, and so I felt like I was missing something, which was frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly what would have happened. I mean, it's exactly. I'm sure there's a lot of people that had that experience going through it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the sword doesn't work. I'm finding bombs. Maybe I have to use bombs to kill this thing.
Yeah.
That was a little bit
And
different.
like I said, visually for me, the only thing I got feedback on was the one time I hit him with the bomb. I got visual feedback that said that I hurt him.
He blinked.
But bomb drops were rare. And so I felt like that, that didn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
That I felt like there was a point where it was beyond frustrating. You were like the game was starting to beat you some.
Yes.
That time around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting very frustrated.
Like if you wasn't shooting a video, if the internet wasn't judging you versus the game, I'm pretty sure you would have turned it off way before you did.
I don't
You know
know
what?
if I would have turned it off, but I definitely would have like looked something up.
Yeah.
She knew she could hurt it.
Yeah.
It wasn't something impossible. She knew she could hurt it. She knew she could kill it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a matter of time. I mean,
Yeah.
it
So
was just
so you would have went to
can
the
I?
internet at
Yeah.
some point in
Yeah.
there.
I would have
Yeah.
looked something up. So when I tried to go behind the dragon the first time, I thought, okay, well, I'm a little dude. Why would I fight a dragon? You try to get past him or get an attack of advantage or whatever, or get away from his head that's shooting this way. You know, Nintendo things. He can only shoot that way, obviously. So I got behind him, and then once I got the bombs, I was like, oh, that's how I get in this other room that has like the circle on it or whatever. I put the bomb on it, and did nothing happen, and I was like, all right, we'll try another bomb. Maybe he needs two. And then it didn't work, and then I was like, dang it. That was gonna be my way to get in the door behind the dragon, was to put bombs on it. Because I thought maybe I was supposed to go around him.
Yeah. You know what? I just realized something. Did you say the door with the circle on it?
Mm-hmm.
So the steel trap doors that you have to do things to open, that have the big lock teeth, those doors have circles on them. I've been looking at those doors for 40 years. Do they really, seriously, do they really have circles on them?
It's got a diamond on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not a perfect circle because it's, obviously in pixel, but it looks like a circle to me.
I'm gonna have to go look at it. I've never, I don't know. I just never noticed it had anything on it. When I picture those doors in my head, it's just like the locked teeth. It's just like the locked teeth, like this, right? That's all I really see. I didn't realize there was a symbol on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like
I thought my bomb went in that the first time I put the bomb in, because visually it looked like it like went into like a slot.
Yeah, it does.
And I set it down, and I was like, "Oh, I got it."
Because when you set it on there, it kind of sets in the middle of the door.
Yeah,
you're right.
And so I was like, "Oh, I got it." It
went
in, and then I was like, "All right, 2 bombs," and I was like, "All right, if 2 bombs didn't work, then this door's done." Like,
see, and that's an interesting point, I think, because in 1986, you'd set the bomb there, and if the door didn't open, you'd assume that it just didn't do anything. But nowadays, you would think, like, you have this image, like the bomb slotting into the door. So you tried it a couple times.
Yeah.
Where I don't think you would have, like, you would have put it on there and been like, oh, that didn't work. And, like, there would be no concept of, like, parts fitting together because it's 8-bit and it just wouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah.
Either that, or you walk up to the door and you hit a paywall that says, please buy our DLC to see the next part of the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get any pop-ups. It's so weird. I thought for sure I'd get pop-up in Mario 2.
Oh, that was. She's 3-0. I mean, at this point, what do we do? Do we just go straight to the top?
We got to cook something else up. Yeah.
I got stuff.
I mean, it was challenging.
Yeah.
It was challenging. I almost lost it, but it was definitely stubbornness that got me through it, honestly. Like,
well, if you did not figure out that you could hurt the dragon at all, you might have just thrown your hands up. But you knew you could kill it. You knew you were equipped enough to kill it, and that was enough. And once you figured out that you could hurt it, it was just, I mean, we were gonna sit here until 2 in the morning or whatever it took.
Yeah.
There was no way that you were gonna let that beat you once that happened.